extremely focused on Arlington Heights, on building our stadium there. That's the plan. We strongly believe that is the only location in Cook County that will allow us to build a stadium, the new Chicago Bears stadium with a fixed roof. We're making great progress. We are now in the process of having weekly meetings with the leaders at the Village of Arlington Heights on a weekly basis. So those meetings are going well. We've been meeting every week here for the last couple of months and making excellent progress. The plan still is to proceed forward this year and hopefully receive a positive vote in a fall veto session. State government to allow us to proceed forward with our project. The biggest item that remains, that has remained, is the fact of this mega project bill that was on the docket in the spring, but it was not put forth for a vote. But it's very important that passes, because without that legislation, we're not able to proceed forward. We stand ready. The stadium is designed, like I said, we're meeting weekly with the village, and it's been good to work with Mayor Tenalia. And the biggest issue that we have to realize, there's been some conversation that people have said this is a Chicago Bears bill. Would the Bears benefit from this mega project, property tax bill from a property tax standpoint? Absolutely. But this is a jobs bill. And in the climate that we're in from an economic standpoint, locally, but also from a national standpoint, but especially here in the state of Illinois, people need to be put to work. And you're talking about this stadium project would create over 56,000 permanent jobs, 56,000 construction jobs, 9,100 permanent jobs that it would create. So you're talking about putting people to work. So this is an economic bill that would give people jobs, allow them to work, to get to work. Yes, the Bears would benefit from it, but it's much more than the Bears benefiting from this bill. The entire state of Illinois would benefit from it. There are some certain guardrails in it. You have to make a commitment. You know, this is a commitment that you have to be in that location for 20 years. And these are big projects ranging from $100 million to $500 million. And it not only would benefit people here in the city of Chicago and surrounding areas in Cook County and Arlington Heights, but also all across our state. And we need to make sure that we put people to work. So that's been something that I just want to make it very clear on. We've had some fantastic meetings recently with labor and some strong meetings there. They're supportive of this bill because it's a jobs bill. And as I said, when you start creating over 56,000 jobs on a construction standpoint and 9,100 on a temporary basis that turn into be permanent jobs, long term over 9,000 jobs, that is a serious positive opportunity. So with that, I know there are a lot of other questions that you may have regarding business, football, stadium, and I would open up the floor, but I wanted to make sure we spent some time giving you an update where we are in our stadium.
So if the bill passes, what's the timeline look like? When do you expect to break ground if you do get that bill passed?
Yeah, I mean, we're ready. We're ready now. Everything is in order. And so if that bill passes in October, I mean, there are other items that we have to work on, and obviously there's a process that we have to follow with the Village of Arlington Heights from an approval process, but obviously they're committed. And so the goal would still be in a position to move dirt this year. There's some work, some initial work that needs to be done to get the site ready and to break ground, hopefully next year formally, but to actually move dirt this year and to be ready to play in our new stadium.
And but aren't you having issues once you get past October?
No. One thing that from a construction standpoint in Minnesota, we actually broke ground in December. And so there's no issues from a weather conditioning standpoint. And these construction companies are so skilled, they know what needs to be done from a timing standpoint. So this is somewhat similar by breaking ground, in December that we had in Minnesota, and we were able to get the stadium built, U.S. Bank Stadium built in 30 months.
And you said the stadium's design, you guys are fully set on the design and everything, all of that is approved and ready to go?
Yeah, the design, we have David Manica, who we worked with us, who's done a fantastic job As you know, we're in the market now from an RFP standpoint to hire an architect of record who will work with David Manica. We have some talented individuals who are participating in that RFP, and then we'll go to RFP from a construction manager standpoint. But as far as the initial design, things are in order. Things look great. We spent a lot of time, building that, and so that's one of the reasons why we did that, would be for us to be prepared to be able to move forward with the project.
Kevin, you guys
Yes.
have had Ben Johnson in your building now for about 7 months, I think. What has he brought to the building, the practice field?
Coach Johnson is everything that we had hoped for, everything that we had planned for, and some. His leadership, his work ethic, his positivity, but being realistic, his capabilities, and he's an excellent planner, speaker. He's diligent. He has a creative mind, as you've seen from practice. And one of the greatest attributes is that he epitomizes what the Chicago Bears stand for, just toughness and grit and attention to detail to carry forward that legacy that George Halas started and has carried through the McCaskey family. I mean, these practices are intense. And one thing that you've noticed, the intensity level. And when you are able to have intense practices at this time in training camp, what it says is that the players respect the coaches, and especially the head coach. So Coach Johnson has done an excellent job, and also I'm very pleased to see the working relationship that has occurred between Coach Johnson and Ryan Poles. So I know that's something that's been positive for everyone here in the organization.
Kevin, when you say that your sole focus is circle back, excuse me, with anybody from the city, or your conversations only with Arlington Heights?
We've just only had conversations with Arlington Heights right now. Mayor Tenalia did come on. He and I, along with George, all of us, we've developed an excellent working relationship. What helps is also he's an architect by trade, and so he understands the dynamics of what it takes to build a building, and to be able to build this size of a building at the village of Arlington Heights is special. So he's been a great partner, and it's been good to be able to spend time with him, and his staff has been excellent too.
You sent out a survey to season ticket
Yes.
holders, what they have to say.
They're ready for a new building, and it's amazing. The season ticket holders here, we're fortunate, we're blessed here at the Bears to have dedicated and loyal fans. But what's also happening, because they do get a chance to travel around the country, they're starting to see other stadiums to come on board to say that we in Chicago deserve something, like that. So we got some really good feedback on it, and I think one thing that this building will have. We will be able to make sure that we touch all the points as far as the things that fans want to be able to have and enjoy. And it puts us in a position now that people know to bid and hopefully host Super Bowls and Final Fours and college football games and these mega events. So that's what makes it very special. But the conjoint survey that you're referring to was very well received, and we got some excellent feedback.
When it comes to around the stadium, that's a big piece of property. What's the latest there? What's the plan around the actual stadium?
I mean, obviously you have 326 acres. It's a mixed-use development. What makes it really unique, to our understanding, it will be the only location that actually has train transportation that will drop off right at the site with the Metro site that's there in Arlington Park. But with the support and guidance of ownership, we'll have an opportunity to do something that's incredibly transformative from a standpoint for all the residents here in Illinois and really around the country in the NFL. So you're talking about a mixed-use development, some blend of hotels, housing, restaurants, entertainment facilities to allow people to really enjoy it. It's very rare that you find 326 acres in a metropolitan city, and it served its purpose before as a racetrack, so that's what makes it exciting.
Kevin, that area, 53's got a lot of construction going on right now. Have you talked to IDOT and Cook County about what they have to do as far as expanding the entrances and exit ramps at Euclid? Yeah,
we're working on a traffic study. Actually, have received it, working through all the details. There will be some opportunities with IDOT to work on expanding to make sure that the ingress and egress is excellent. And that's one thing when you have the different roads that exist, the different opportunities we have to expand those roads. and also the train capability, it makes it unique. So we'll have conversations with all of the appropriate people, and not only the village of Arlington Heights, but the surrounding areas will be critically important for us to talk with them.
Kevin, has this whole stadium process getting off the ground, is it?
Absolutely not. I mean, you think about it, that's why you build these stadiums once every 40 years. And so it's not for the faint of heart, but I've been here before. We have the best ownership, not only in the NFL, but in all the pro sports who are supportive. And this is something that, from an energy standpoint, we all gain on the energy to think that the Bears in 105 years have never had their own stadium, which is rare when you think about that. And all the events that we're missing out on, like I said, from a Super Bowl standpoint. So it's been actually exactly what I had predicted it would be for us to work together. We got a really smart group of individuals who work here at the Bears. We have great consultants. We're coming together. And when you have the support of ownership, we can do anything. So we're right on target where I thought we would be.
Mr. Warren, what have been some of the biggest points of movement in the talks of Arlington Heights that have encouraged you all to circle back to that being the main desired site?
I just think they have a willing spirit, and they understand the magnitude of a project as far as what this could do, and this is really unique. I mean, you think about there's only 32 of these assets in the world, and now to be able to build a stadium from a transformative standpoint, what it will be, just the attention, and I just think that they have a willing, smart group of individuals to be able to do, and to think the only thing that really remains is this property tax certainty, which is this will spur economic growth in the state of Illinois. And it's not only for us. I often think about the businesses who would be thinking about moving to Illinois, but who are not because of our certainty with the property tax issues. Which is an issue. And still, you think about it, only 10 cranes in Chicago. 2017, it was 60. And so we need to get projects going and to be able to create jobs for people who want to go to work, and especially with the environment of the Chicago Bears.
Kevin, I know you guys were hopeful that that bill would pass in May.
Yes.
And then it didn't even come to a vote.
Yes.
I guess that's Illinois politics, but I guess what makes you more optimistic that come October, not only will it go to a vote, but it'll pass? Yeah,
I mean, and again, I have great, I would say, sensitivity for politicians, not only locally, but nationally. Those are difficult jobs. And there are a lot of things that didn't make it on the docket in the spring. I know transit is going to be an important issue that people are trying to work on. I'm hopeful that when we get to the fall veto session, that people, our legislative leaders, will recognize that time is now. I mean, you have an ownership group who's committed to leaning into the cost of the stadium. And if you just look around the country, what's going on in Buffalo, what happened in Cleveland and Washington and Tennessee, and not only in the NFL, but other sports. I mean, there's this public-private partnership, and for our ownership to step up, to lean into paying the cost for the stadium, and all we need is property tax certainty. And we're not trying to avoid paying taxes. We absolutely will pay taxes, but we want to just have certainty. And what this mega project property tax bill allows you to do is it allows a company like the Bears to negotiate with local taxing authorities, school boards, school districts, to be able to set the certain amount of taxes that should be paid. And this is what we call no cost and no obligation. This costs the state of Illinois zero, because if you're not able to negotiate the property tax between the local company and the local taxing districts, then nothing happens. And so this is not a grant. This is not a gift. This is not any transfer of money from the state of Illinois to the Chicago Bears or other businesses. This just says we're going to allow you to negotiate the property taxes, which is critically important.
Time for a couple more.
How disappointing was it? You talk about the willingness in Arlington Heights, but there wasn't more willingness in the city. I think you basically did everything you could to go there, and it just didn't happen.
I think there was. I mean, there's multiple levels of things that have to be done. You have to have, a willing heart, and I would say Mayor Johnson and people in Chicago were willing. But then you have to be able to put the deal construct together to make sure it works from a financial standpoint. So it all has to come together. That's the other thing, and I'm glad you raised that question. Is the city of Chicago still will benefit from having this stadium in Arlington Heights, people will stay in Chicago. So from a hotel standpoint, the hospitality industry, from a food and entertainment standpoint, all of those different things, airports, people coming in and out of town. The other thing that I think some folks have kind of overlooked, we're in the same county. I mean, Chicago and Arlington Heights are in Cook County, so it's not like we're moving to another county. This still is in the same county, so this will be a financial benefit, not only from a job standpoint for building the stadium, but also then working full-time, but also just from a hospitality industry standpoint.
Last one, Dan.
Since word of Ryan's extension became public, what was your decision-making process in extending Ryan, and what went into the timing?
Yeah, I mean, one thing about it, we've made it very clear what we feel about Ryan. He is a world-class leader. He's talented. He's hardworking. He has a transformative thought process, which is critically important. And just thankful to the support of Georgia McCaskey and the entire our ownership group to be able to allow us to work that out with Ryan, and now to be able to see the relationship that Ryan and Coach Johnson have built allows us to have a chance to be able to build a really good football team and a football program with two young leaders. So we're grateful that Ryan is here as our general manager.
Thank you.
Thank you all.